All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Bay Area real estate. Specifically, we're going to be taking a look at that Bay Area Real Estate Pulse podcast that dropped earlier this month.
Great episode.
Yeah, it was. Some pretty interesting stuff in there. I mean, 1.4 million median price in San Francisco. That's wild. And Silicon Valley even higher, 1.8 HT million. So we're going to break it all down and hopefully give you some insights into what's really going on in this crazy market.
Yeah, those numbers are definitely attention-grabbing, but I think what's more interesting is what they tell us about the bigger picture. We're seeing modest price appreciation year over year, so it's not like the insane bidding wars and 20% jumps we saw a few years back.
Right, so it sounds like things are starting to stabilize a little bit.
Well, to some extent, but the low inventory is still a huge GE factor.
Okay, so low inventory. I think a lot of people hear that term and they're not quite sure what it means for them practically.
Yeah. So imagine you've got this really awesome pair of limited edition sneakers.
Okay, I'm following.
Everyone wants them, but there are only a few pairs available. What happens?
Prices go up.
Exactly. That's low inventory in a nutshell. Fewer homes for sale than people who want to buy them. So sellers have the upper hand. They can be picky, they can negotiate, and they're likely to get their asking price or even higher.
So it's a good time to be a seller in the Bay Area. But what about buyers? I mean, hearing all this, plus those 6.2% mortgage rates, makes me kind of want to sit on the sidelines and wait for things to cool down a bit.
That's a common thought. The thing is, interest rates are unpredictable.
Yeah.
No one has a crystal ball. Some experts think rates will keep climbing, making affordability even tougher, so locking in a rate now could protect you from future increases. But then again, rates could dip and you could refinance later. It's a gamble either way.
So, as a buyer, how do you even begin to navigate this?
Well, the first step is to get informed. Understand your financial situation, your risk tolerance, and how badly you want to be in the market. And don't go it alone.
Good advice.
Yeah, work with experienced professionals. A good real estate agent can be your guide. They can help you find the right property, and they know how to negotiate in this competitive landscape. And a solid mortgage lender will help you understand all your financing options, so you're not just, jumping into the deep end without a life jacket.
Makes sense. Now, there was something in the podcast that caught my attention. All this investor activity, especially in multifamily properties and rentals, what's driving that?
It's really a classic supply and demand situation. High demand for housing, limited inventory, so rental prices are going up. Investors see this as a chance to make some passive income.
Oh, I see. So they're banking on the fact that people will always need a place to live.
Exactly. And multifamily properties, things like duplexes or apartment buildings, those offer even more potential for returns. You've got multiple tenants paying rent, so your income stream is diversified.
Sounds like a pretty sweet deal for investors. So should all our listeners be rushing out to buy investment properties?
Hold on there. Real estate investment isn't for everyone. It's complex, it requires planning, research, and a good understanding of the market.
Right. It's not just as easy as, watching a couple YouTube videos.
Exactly. There are different strategies involved too, like long-term rentals versus flipping houses. Each comes with its own risks and rewards, so you really need to do your homework before diving in.
Yeah. So homework is key. Speaking of specific areas, let's talk neighborhoods. The podcast mentioned San Francisco condos are making a comeback.
Yeah. And it makes sense when you think about those high prices we talked about. Condos are often a more affordable way to get into the San Francisco market, especially for first-time buyers or people who just want a more manageable space.
So it's not necessarily that people are choosing condos over houses. It's more that they're kind of the only option in certain price ranges.
Yeah, affordability plays a big role. But it's not just that. We're also seeing demographics shift. You've got young professionals, empty nesters. They're all drawn to the convenience and amenities that come with condo living. Plus, there are a lot of new developments popping up with fancy gyms and rooftop gardens.
Right. So the condo lifestyle is becoming more and more appealing. But what about those folks who are, priced out of San Francisco altogether?
Yeah, that's a reality for a lot of people. But the Bay Area is more than just San Francisco. The podcast mentioned Oakland and the East Bay are attracting a lot of buyers, too.
What's the draw there?
Well, you get more bang for your buck. Oakland and the East Bay have a mix of urban and suburban living, and the housing stock is more diverse. Single-family homes, townhouses, condos, you name it. Plus, you're still close to San Francisco, but without the crazy price tag.
It's like having your cake and eating it, too. Okay, so we've talked about San Francisco, the East Bay. We can't forget the heart of tech, Silicon Valley. What's the market looking like there?
Silicon Valley is still hot, no doubt about it. The tech industry is stable, salaries are high, and that drives demand for housing. So prices are staying elevated. But we are seeing some softening in certain pockets, especially in areas further away from the big employment hubs.
So there might be some deals to be found if you're willing to commute a bit.
Possibly. But it's important to do your research, understand the local market trends. Every neighborhood is different. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Pricing trends, low inventory, mortgage rates, different neighborhoods. What's the outlook for the Bay Area market, say, in the spring? Any predictions?
Oh, predictions. Everyone loves a good prediction. What do the experts say?
Well, it's always tough to predict the future, but some experts are anticipating a more balanced market in the spring.
Balanced. So that means,
It means inventory levels might increase a bit, and the crazy pace of price growth could slow down.
so not a buyer's market quite yet, but maybe a little less intense.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Affordability is likely to remain a challenge. So no matter what happens, knowledge is power.
Couldn't agree more. We've talked about a lot of complex stuff today, but I think the takeaway for our listeners is whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you got to do your homework.
Yep. Understanding the nuances of each neighborhood, the different types of properties, the financial aspects, it's all crucial. The more you know, the better decisions you'll make.
So true. We've covered so much today. Pricing trends, inventory woes, mortgage rates, neighborhood snapshots. It's a lot to digest. But here's a final thought for you to ponder. If you were an investor right now, where in the Bay Area would you put your money? And why? Let us know your thoughts. Keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to Bay Area real estate.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone.